so excited.
It's time for Two Guys and a Goalie with Dustin Nielson, Matt Kassian, and the goalie, Joaquin Gage.
What's up, everybody? It's Two Guys and a Goalie, brought to you by GS Construction, where they are setting the industry standard for 50 years with quality, efficiency, and safety driving their success. GS Construction has a foundation built on teamwork, and now they want you to become a part of the team. Visit www.gsconstruction.ca and click Ready to Work, or visit their page at Indeed.ca. And with the Next Up Person program at GS Construction, it's not just a job, it's a career. And right now they are dishing out 8-year contract offers to people at GS Construction. Oh no, that's just the oil. That's just the oil. Gager, what's up, my man?
Well, I don't know, man. I have no clue. No clue. Yesterday on the show with Hernan, I was browsing through Puckpedia, and we actually told listeners, Edmonton Oilers fans, to not go on the site to look at other teams, how they've situated themselves.
Florida. Don't look at Florida.
Don't look at Florida.
Their whole team's locked up for 5 to 7 years.
It's not only that, Dusty. It's not only that teams have the core group of their guys locked up for a considerable amount of time. It's they all have more cap space. They'll have way more.
I have to tell you, I was listening to you guys when I was getting home yesterday, and I pulled into my driveway, and you made me laugh because you were talking about Jack Campbell, and you're like 2.3, and then you're like, next year he gets a raise to 2.6. And I was just like, my God, that is hilarious.
Oh man,
that was kind of funny.
Any other management,
Yeah.
I guess. Well, you'd get fired. You'd get fired for decisions like this. The amount of those anchors, and I've been watching that.
You love the little anchor.
Well, I'm fascinated with the Titan submersible.
Hey, how
sub.
is that?
Oh, it's great.
Yeah, I saw that. It's like a major thing on Netflix right now.
Oh, watch it.
Okay, is that's not the one that imploded on?
Yes.
Is it? Wow.
Yes.
Oh, I should watch that then.
Oh, you got to watch it.
Yeah.
You know what? It'll be a good 30,000 feet.
Well, that's the last thing I need.
Maybe-
Being in the air,
You know what?
watching people die at the bottom of the
I'll just say
ocean.
Carbon fiber is fine in arrow,
Okay.
but
That's what it is.
Underwater, not so good.
Not the case. So that's worth checking out, eh?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Okay.
So now I see all these anchors. The Edmonton Oilers seem like the Titan right now. They're going to implode.
Well, the scary thing is that, you know, when you look at the cap situation, if they can move Arvidsson, give them about 17 mil in cap space.
Okay.
So 4 of that, 3.8 or something is going to go to Frederic. 10.5 is going to go to Bush. That's almost all of it already.
Gone.
Right? So you almost have to find a way to trade Evander Kane. Like you have to. If you
Do
plan
you?
on making any, well, if you plan on making any other additions or you plan on changing your position in net, I mean, you're going to have to free up
Right.
that 5 mil.
But there's 20 goals gone.
Yeah. I mean,
Like I heard you talking to Huss on the way.
Yeah.
Just Carolina. Is that a good fit? Will Brendamore be able to?
do you think Kane would be a good fit in Carolina?
I think Kane would be a fit anywhere fine because he's on his best behavior the first 2 years.
Yeah. And he's only
Right?
got 1 year left. So it's like a contract year, 1 year there.
It might be advantageous to keep him, Dusty. That's what I'm thinking. Like he's in his last year, right? He's going to want to do well, be on his best behavior because he's going to want another deal in some shape
The
or
next
form.
one won't be here.
No.
But yeah.
Well, whatever. I think his time's kind of run out. But look, there's how many times over the course of 82 games did we talk about Evander Kane and say that's a piece that was missing in the Edmonton Oilers lineup? And I know they're going to sign Frederic for 15 years here, but it's nice. One of those types of guys is great in your lineup. Two is better, I think. Anyway, but it's the goaltending conversation, and although I've been in Stuart Skinner's corner for a long time, I do have a feeling that, unfortunately, I think his days are numbered here in Edmonton. Because if they're looking for a goalie, I think he's the one going back the other way. A young goalie, been to the finals a few times. He's only 26 years old. There's a lot of runway left, and he's a very affordable cap hit for a guy that's played over 100 games and over the past couple of seasons and has a wealth of playoff experience in beating some of the best goaltenders in the league.
780-218-9999, 780-218-9999. We are already in it now. You can text us 780-218, and we'll get to a few more of those, 218-9999, over on the chat as well. Connor McDavid did have his availability. I just see a few quotes coming in. Reed Wilkins was down there today, so he'll have a bunch in the Reed Wilkins show. If Reed actually pops in here during the noon hour, we might just have him come on quickly and sort of summarize things for us as well. That mic in the middle here is set up for YouTube. Trev, figure we get him some mustache tips and then his thoughts.
That is impressive.
Now that he's not like living in depression right now, but more so anger.
Yeah.
So great stash though.
Oh insane. My gosh.
Anyway, this was a quote on McDavid being asked about unfinished business. This core has been together for a long time, and we've been building to this moment. With that being said, ultimately, I still need to do what's best for me and my family. But of course, there's unfinished business here. That's about his future in Edmonton.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Spicy.
Yeah, I mean, but he can't go anywhere for another year anyway.
I know.
You know, I know he's going to be asked about it a ton. Yeah, I just don't see a world where he leaves, man.
No?
Well, let's just look at it from this perspective. They've given him everything he could possibly want.
Okay.
And without maybe the exception of a starting goaltender and some wingers for Draisaitl. But his agent runs the organization. His junior coach is his head coach now. Like, you've literally turned the keys to the organization over to Connor McDavid. I don't see how he goes, hey, thanks for bringing all these guys in. See ya. I'm out. Like, I'd be stunned. I'm starting to come around on this 4 to 5 year extension talk.
Yeah. Take
a 4 or 5 year deal. And in 5 years, you can cash in the greatest contract in the history of the National Hockey League because you're a freak. But you're going to be the highest paid player in the league now. And then in 5 years, you'll probably double what you just made on a 4-year contract, more than double. So, I mean, I got a little bit of time for that. If I was him, I mean, I'd totally be open to that. But I see that quote. I'm not freaking out about that quote, but you think that quote's a little...
I got to do what's best for my family? That's the one thing. I mean...
But what's best for his family would be the most money possible, and nobody will be able to give him more than here with that 8th year. Like, there's... Yeah. I mean, somebody would have to offer him like $3 or $4 million more per year than the Oilers.
Well, how much is Lauren's restaurant pulling in these days?
Well, it just opened, right? I'm sure it's doing well.
I like what Reed said yesterday. He signs what? 8 years, $8 million, $1 million AAV.
Yeah, I mean that's
and his
brother gets a $150 million job.
yeah.
I do like that one as well.
Look, I think to me it was I was under the impression.
Leon also said the exact same thing.
Did he?
Before he signed. It was the same thing. We've got unfinished business, blah, blah, blah. Yeah. Got to do what's best for me. And then in September, he signed a massive contract.
Look, we've all seen what happens when guys start chasing the cup, like superstars that have been with an organization for a length of or a period of time, and then they move on and they start trying to get it somewhere else. Like, look at Ryan Smith. Kind of was chasing it a little bit. Jerome McGinley, Joe Thornton. Like these guys were, and it just, it rarely works out. And usually the team that they leave has some sort of success that they could have stayed with. I know Ryan Smith left LA a year too early when, and came home when if he'd just stayed in LA that year, and he could have, from all accounts, he would have won a cup with the Kings. I thought that if the Edmonton Oilers won the Stanley Cup this year, the chances of Connor McDavid leaving were greater than if they lost.
I got the cup. You're welcome.
Yeah. Then maybe you look at but now since he didn't, again, that unfinished business part of it. But I think you're right, Dusty. I think you'll see more of that 4 to 5 year Austin Matthews type deal, and then and give it that amount of time, and then you're probably looking at a massive deal anyways further down the road. Not that he's going to need any more in his bank account at that point, but I think you got to keep your options open too. I could see him signing a shorter term deal. And you said it today. If it's a 5-year deal, I don't know how fans here could be angry that he gave everything and bringing people out of their seats and up off their couches
like 15,
for 15 years.
Been here.
That's
he
enough,
could still
dude.
go cash a huge deal.
That's
right?
enough.
So,
and he's been gracious. He's been a model, like, ambassador of the Edmonton Oilers and the city of Edmonton. Yeah, man, that's enough.
In addition to what I said about his agent now running the organization, his junior coach now coaching the hockey team, this text adds to it. Andrew the Count says, I'd be more worried about McDavid resigning if Leon wasn't already here for 8 more years. There's no chance in hell Leon signs that deal if he doesn't know McDavid isn't staying.
I don't know. I really don't know. And I get it. They're good friends. They're good teammates. They want to win together. I trust me. I know that feeling of going to a certain place because you have a good buddy on a team. I've done that at times, right? Like, oh, I'm going there. My buddies play there.
It's going to be great. Yeah.
It's going to be awesome. But I guess, I don't think he signs right away on July 1st.
You think it's, Leon didn't sign till September.
Yeah.
Not the whole summer. There's no reason to sign that early.
And look, man, I don't care if his agent, it's not his agent anymore. He's already made his agent a ton of dough anyways. If his agent and his partner don't do something drastic over the next 2 months, I think he's waiting to see what they can do. And who comes in.
That's fair enough too. I mean, but I also, like, here's the other whole conversation. When you talk about, well, where's he going to go? What's better than here? You're on a Stanley Cup contender. No other team's been to the Cup final twice. Yeah. You know, like you're a part. Now look, without them, yeah, they're not a Stanley, but they've been this close to winning the Stanley Cup. The Oilers will be able to give you more money than anybody else. Like, I'm trying to wrap my head around what would be a better situation. And I can't find a better situation for Connor McDavid than one where the organization has turned the keys over to you, bringing in people who were close to you to help run the organization. Your best friend becomes the highest paid player in the league until you become the highest paid player in the league. And you're a Stanley Cup contender. Like, what's better than that? I mean, outside of you don't want to live in Edmonton anymore and you want to go live in a different, climate or something. I can't think of a hockey situation that would be better for this guy. That's why I refuse to believe that he'll leave. I just don't see it.
Yeah, I think it does boil down to he's going to wait and see what happens with the construction of this team. Because he made some mistakes in the playoffs too, right?
Oh, getting that goal against and game 6, the second one. That's
he
his
was
fault.
not at his best. And really, there were some great moments. There were some Connor McDavid moments throughout this playoff series. And you're mind boggled at what he can do. There were big goals that he scored. But
arguably the greatest assist in playoff history, I think.
Yeah.
That was insane.
But there's another level that he needs to get to win, I think. When you look at the Panthers and things, that's what's scary. The Panthers could go back again.
The Panthers will be back in a Stanley Cup final in the next 2 years.
Yes.
Like, it might get in there just on the wear and tear of the body. But if they don't get there next year, I would pick them to get back there the following year. Like, they are a pretty stacked team. So I don't think there's too much to worry about there. Hey, Trev. Tell Trev to grab a chair. Come in here. Hop on two guys for a little bit. We're going to, Gager, check this mic right next to us. You can just slide in the middle, I guess, and try it again. Oh, boys. Hey, somebody come in and turn up my computer as well, or the board here. Well, I mean, can you just turn this one up so we can get that mic working there?
Zach.
There we go. Now we're good, Gage.
We're good?
Now you can slide over, and we'll let Trev just sit where you are. So we got.
Why do you have to get the one with arms? Just get the one without arms.
That's gonna be so tight. God, Trev, get it together, man. Like this is ridiculous. Trying to get you on two guys, and you're bringing over the wrong chair. This is crazy stuff. Oh, did Reed Wilkins just get here too?
I heard.
All right. Well, we'll bring Reed in after we get Trev on, just to kind of get a summary of everything that happened down at the rink today. But
did you talk about Reed yesterday? His quick quips.
Oh, he was hilarious yesterday. You were here early yesterday, and
that makes sense.
sit in the middle there, Trev.
Gosh.
There we go. Yeah, Reed was hilarious yesterday, Gager. It was. I said we should just be streaming The Office right now. It was
I know.
the funniest place we've ever been. Yeah. Yeah, that's good. Trev, what's up, buddy?
Oh, front and center.
There you go.
What's up?
Talking to the mic.
This is cool.
You need your
Have
computer.
you ever been middle guy?
No.
No. What
I've
are
always
you
been fascinated about the beer of the week, what it's like
to
being-
sit right here? Yeah.
Oh, this is pretty cool. I will not lie. Yeah, it's good. Two guys and a goalie. I'm not cast, but I am a guy, so I guess I fit the bill.
Yeah, it does fit.
You're more of a man with that mustache.
I am. Yeah, I'm getting lots of looks today. I was at the gym yesterday. I was saying it on the morning show, and people were looking at me like that doesn't really make sense. But
I think it looks good, man.
Do you have
Yeah,
like a leather vest?
no,
Like a
but
biker
maybe
vest?
I can get one.
Yeah.
You could definitely be a biker.
Yeah.
I was thinking Wyatt Earp's brother, Virgil Earp, in Tombstone,
right.
Sam Elliott.
Yeah.
That's a Sam Elliott right there.
That's a
so.
Sam Elliott stash.
Thanks,
too.
boys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not bad. I can't grow the beard, and I shaving it off with the
Your
biggest
beard
smile.
was pretty good. You can grow a beard. I know it
that's
frustrates you though.
a little patchy on the sides, but this is what I'm meant for. Is
It's quite red,
handlebar.
hey?
Yeah, it's funny because it's not
not
different
dark,
color,
yeah.
and then like when you're in the lighting, it's a little bit of blonde in there. It's got
Wow.
some red and brown and black. So yeah, it's
I
pretty
would say
cool.
a more auburn.
Yeah, that's good,
a
yeah.
cool
Very
word.
good.
Yeah.
Brings out your eyes.
First time I had a goatee, it turned
Thank
out it
you.
was like a ginger goatee. I had a little ginger goat.
No
Yeah.
way.
Yeah. Yeah. If we would have been two guys back then, the episode would have been called The Ginger Goat. Remember we used to name them all and like whatever came up.
Oh,
with it?
right. We did. We had
Those
to
were
come up
always
with a
fun,
name.
but it was just like straight up a podcast. It was always come with a name.
That
Okay,
was,
so
that was when I was listening. Like in
Yeah,
college.
back in the day,
I'd always
right?
laugh at the names. I'd be
Yeah.
like, they're so creative. These guys, they're geniuses.
yeah, geniuses. Now here you are. You're in a much better mood today
Yeah.
than yesterday. Gager, had you ever seen sad as man as this guy was
I've
yesterday?
never seen a human being melt into a chair like Trev was. Yeah, I didn't even know he was in here. I thought it was the chair, and then I looked. Like your whole back and body was just all your poor spine. I thought. Did you have a sore back yesterday?
Yeah, like after a while there, I had to rearrange my back because it was getting a little sore. And this is gonna sound ridiculous, and it is. And I know everyone handles it differently. And people are like, Trev, you're fine. Like you got, two arms. What's the grandma say? 2 arms and a heartbeat. You're fine. You got a roof over your head. And I feel like there's 3 fans. There's the bandwagon fans. They jump on during the playoffs, and it's fine. This is great. I love it. And then there's the fans that are, this is great. I love it. The Oilers lose, whatever. They go on amongst themselves, and it still sucks. It's still not the outcome you wanted, but they can go on with their everyday life and not have an issue, right? And then there's the diehards, and I classify myself in that kind of column because it hurts me, and on ways that it probably shouldn't as a sports fan, as an Oilers fan, but it actually does affect me, and I've gotten way better. Like I wouldn't talk to my family for weeks when I was younger, and I'm not even making this up. Like I could use this as confessions one day, but It's honest to God truth. I'd have friends call me. I'd have my family come. They'd know not to knock on my door because I'd be rattled, and I'd go for walks. I'm not much of a walker. I'd kick rocks on my walks. I'm not even joking. Like, it would seriously bother me. And
you're a man of the people. People are like, Trev is a man of the people.
Yeah,
you're one of them, Trev. You're one of the nasties.
I know, and I know there's a lot of nasties that can relate to this, and that's why, like, I sympathize with a lot of them, because it's just, the Oilers are everything to me, man. And if it wasn't for the Oilers, I probably would not. There's no way I'd be in Edmonton right now.
Now, you only moved up here because you're an Oilers fan.
I could say the same thing, Trevor.
That's a good point, too.
Okay, well,
it's the Oilers and both of these guys as part of us.
Yeah. So, so just to go back to it, it was a tough day, and I'm happy. I said earlier, with age, it's the losses, it's getting a lot better with age, which I'm happy to say.
With age.
As it naturally should, because I'm not going to be, in a few years, 30. It's not a good look. I don't know. But yeah, I am better today. It's more just anger with some of the stuff that we're starting to see now.
It does. Well, now I was going to say it doesn't change much. Like when the Detroit Lions lost in the playoffs this year, I was in my basement for about 3 hours.
Oh yeah.
Like I was distraught. I was like, come on, man. I haven't seen these guys do anything my entire life.
Yeah.
And it was,
if Canada would have lost the Four Nations, I would have.
That would have been your thing. Yeah.
I would have lost it.
Yeah. See, that's
what you were feeling yesterday is me every time LeBron gets eliminated from the playoffs.
Okay.
Pretty much. I mean, so I feel you. But now you've transitioned to like a bit of an anger for.
I'm mad. I'm frustrated with some of the stuff coming out. Hernan's out there.
Hernan says he's bringing the heat today on this Frederic rumor.
Yeah.
Hernan said, I'm paraphrasing, but he's like, I don't like what Connor's saying in his post game or his
and his availability. Okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
So, and then obviously I listen to Hernan a lot. I look up to him, so that's kind of starting to get me a little rattled and flustered. Gosh, like I don't know what. Like if Connor leaves, I don't know what to do.
He's not leaving, man.
I'm
telling you right now, it's not. Yeah,
seriously, I'm following Connor. I'm sorry.
That's it.
But I'm following Connor.
That's it. He's done. Like
really,
if Connor leaves, he's becoming a fan of wherever Connor goes.
I did it with good old Taylor Hall. That's when I started watching the Oilers. I know a lot of people,
You were very young, but
I was young. And
that's when he started watching.
That's when
Taylor Hall got drafted.
2010. That was my first year. I was diehard. I remember the first game the Oilers won. Jordan Eberle with the toe drag. It was just awesome. But that was when I was first committed. I was like, oh my gosh, this is awesome. This is my team. It's great. I think they started that season 4-0, and then,
it fell apart, yeah.
You all know how.
They started that season 4-0, and then yada, 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 decade of darkness.
Oh, no.
But, it's interesting. It's going to be, I'm fascinated to see what's going to happen here. I'm going to be listening. I'm going to be dialed into all your guys' shows because as much as I hate off-season, that we're in the off-season, that's kind of all I had to look forward to was when I
for a long time,
was the free agent frenzy, was the draft. I was so involved with the draft every single year from 2010 to even like 2017, 2018. So the offseason is here. I'm ready for it, and so should you be.
Was this year harder because you were able to immerse yourself more because of the not having to partake in the pre and post?
Yeah, game? Pre and post, right? No pre and post this year.
Man. It's not even close. Like I will say, like I'm very impressed with myself. Like I never thought that I'd be able to put my emotions aside
for pre and post last year.
Because there was a little bit of nerves. There's always nerves, I think, in the first round for me, but the second round, Vancouver, near the end there, I was okay. Like I was going into it with a professional mindset, and I was able to put my feelings aside. And it was weird because my family, I keep on alluding back to them, but they were like, this is weird. Like I've never seen you like this before. You're not cheering. Like this is insane.
Yeah.
And I'm like, like I don't know. Like it is weird. I never thought that I'd be able to do this. And so like I think that it's not even close. Like this one was way harder.
Fully re-engaged this year.
And then I was like, that's why. Like I'm just like, no, like I'm a believer in God. I'm like, you could be the professional for the 1 year, but I'm rewarding you to be a fan this year.
There we go.
And you can cheer, and you're going to watch them win the cup. And that didn't quite happen, obviously, but it wasn't even close. This year, this was tough, and I will say I'm happy. It's not even a day, and I'm already feeling good.
You're bouncing back.
And like 5 years ago, that wouldn't have happened. Not
Really?
even close.
That's good.
At least
wow.
2 weeks.
Well, it's,
2 weeks of silence.
you're maturing, Trev.
Thank you.
All right, I know you're doing work. We'll let you go. Can you send Reed over?
Yes.
I just want Reed will have a bunch of thoughts
This is
from the
awesome.
availability today. See you later, Trev.
Thanks for having
Thanks
me
for being on
boys.
Two
This
Guys
was
and a
really
Goalie,
cool.
my man.
Dream come true.
We're gonna. For him, it is like he used to listen to us when he was like 15. So it's is Reed kicking around? I just want Reed's thought. Reed was down at the availability for us, and let's bring in Reed here. He'll have a bunch of clips broken down on the Reed Wilkins show today. But obviously, I was on the air here doing the lock shop, so I'm not too familiar with what Connor McDavid had to say. Reed.
Yeah,
How are
I'm
you,
actually
sir?
just watching it right now.
Okay.
Because I couldn't stay for quite the
So
entire
you were
game.
there
I've
for
seen most of it.
what were you there for? You were there for
Frederic,
Okay.
Bouchard, Perry, Draisaitl. Was there another one? I did not see Nuge, but
Okay.
I'm watching McDavid right now.
Okay.
And I've heard I got to take care of my family.
Yeah.
Um,
You read
I-
into it at all? Like a lot of guys say that.
I think it would have been nice if he just would have said. I think people would feel better. Well, maybe I would feel better if he just said, "There's unfinished business here, and I'll leave it up to my agent and Stan and Jeff."
Something along those lines, yeah.
Because when he says, "Well, I got to look after my family," well, I mean, maybe they're expecting, and we don't know. I don't know.
Yeah. Who knows? I mean,
Who knows? But
Yeah, babies are expensive.
I've been in debt
but it-
for 10 years,
Yeah.
and
Oh,
I'm not getting out of it.
I'm slinging dogs tonight, so don't even start with
I
me.
looked at my one credit card yesterday. I was like, what the hell? I just paid this thing down. I go, look, it's True Blue Swimming.
Oh, I'm sorry. My wife works
I
there.
know your wife works there.
I know.
I hope she makes good money because I am paying a ton for my two. Anyway, sorry, Reed. We
but
got
it's also
distracted.
a safe thing to say. Well, I got to look after my family, or I got
It's a generic
or
line,
whatever.
like,
When you and I were talking about a year ago, I said, "Look, I got to buy comics,"
Yeah.
and you were like, "Well, you're an idiot, but I'll still hire you, I guess."
A little bit of a different situation, I guess. Yeah.
But no, it's a safe thing to say. I mean, I think his family's probably already well looked after.
Yeah, I think they're okay.
Unless he has a gambling problem we don't know about. Yeah, I guess it's probably just a safe thing to say. I guess he could say, "I got to look after my family." Well, I've only looked after the next 4 generations. So this contract is going to look after my great grandchildren and beyond.
And, so the whole thing. I mean,
So-
imagine setting up your entire legacy, like your whole family.
In your 20s?
Yeah. It's insane.
Well, yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah.
But I still am highly doubtful that he leaves Edmonton.
too. Me
I
too.
still believe an extension gets done this summer. I mean, Draisaitl's was, the day the new shows launched here, so the day after Labor Day. So it doesn't have to happen quickly. I just don't know. I guess the question I would have to the people who are convinced that he's not going to be here is why do you think he would want to leave, and how many star players have left their team in their prime? I guess you could say Tavares.
Yep.
But again, nobody wants to play in Edmonton. Well, talk about a place guys don't want to play. The Islanders. What rate are we using today?
That's a good point.
Yeah.
What's our playoff? Well, I
Yeah.
guess they went to the semifinals.
But outside of Tavares,
what I'm
like-
saying, like, I guess Stamkos eventually left Tampa Bay.
Yeah,
and
but
he's older now.
But he won his cups.
Yeah.
Like, that was a little bit different.
So I still think that he looks at the Oilers and sees a lot of advantages to playing here.
Well, I said when we were just talking about before we brought Trevor on, we said, where's a better situation? They gave the keys to the organization to his agent. His junior coach is his coach. His best friend just signed for 8 years and became the highest paid player in the National Hockey League.
Right.
And it's a Stanley Cup contender. Like where?
Well, that's the thing.
Like where's a better spot to go?
I realize we, and by we I mean us fans, people who follow the team, pick everything apart with this franchise because they're so popular,
yeah.
and people are so into hockey and into the Oilers. And of course, we can criticize a lot of flaws and things they didn't do, but this is no longer an incompetent franchise, right? Like I'm sure there are ones that are.
I think that's a fair way to
run.
describe it for a good stretch, but you're right, not anymore.
It is not an incompetent franchise, So you hope that they make decent moves in the offseason and throughout next year and recognize their shortcomings and keep swinging away. I know it's incredibly disappointing to get this far and lose again. I can't promise anybody they're going to be back in the Cup final, but I think with McDavid and Draisaitl and a good team around them, they're always going to be a playoff team, and then you just keep going from there. So I mean, why would he really want to leave? And I do think there is that. I think a lot of these alpha personalities, and I point at Gager because you're one. Like there's also a stubbornness to them. Like, no, it's here. I was drafted here. It's my job. Like, I think he's like, if he did a resume with his job description, it would probably be to win a Stanley Cup for the Edmonton Oilers. Like, they're my employer. They're my team. They're the ones who took me, regardless of draft lottery or whatever. This is the team he had this fate bestowed upon him to try to fulfill. So I don't think he thinks, screw it, I want to go to Vancouver and win as a Canuck. I don't think he looks at it that way, personally, if I read into what he says and what other guys in that position have done. But until it's signed, I get the anxiety.
That's another quote that he had there. If I feel that there's a good window to win here over and over again, then signing is no problem.
Yeah.
So he said if they're a good team,
right,
and they got a window to win, and he has no problem signing.
And they are a good team.
They are a good team.
Yeah.
And I think he's probably putting it that way just to, remind management that he wants, he doesn't want them to dilly-dally or like, hey, Connor, we're just going to take 1 year to rebuild. Like, he wants them to be going for it every year.
Of all the other guys that you sat there with today, what else stood out?
Well, Perry's always interesting to listen to because he's fairly honest. Even if he doesn't always use a lot of words. He wants to keep playing. He said something like he'd like it to be here. He wants to win the Cup again. I think Tchaikovsky asked him, is there any satisfaction to how cool it is that you've been in the Cup final 5 and 6? And he's like, no. He's like, I want to win it. He said, maybe 10 years from now, it'll be, I played a lot of games. Bush doesn't say a lot, as we know. He just basically...
Say anything on his contract?
He said he doesn't think about it while he's playing.
Yeah.
And now it's time to look at it.
Maybe you should start. Jesus.
Yeah. Draisaitl was good. Like, he obviously said he'd love to keep playing with McDavid.
With McDavid, I saw that.
But and I heard you guys when I was driving here. I don't think that they talk about the contracts. Like, somebody brought that up, or you guys read a text. It's like, well, clearly, like,
we did read that one text from the guy.
I don't think they plan it. I don't think they talk about that. Like, I don't think
you don't think they talk about it at all once.
I don't think they talk about it a lot. Like, I don't think okay, let's meet in my room later on the road.
Yeah.
No one will know. And you're staying? Okay, I'll stay. Like, I don't think it's grade 5 dodgeball. Like, okay, if I'll draft you first, and then you draft me first when you're the captain on Tuesday. Like, I don't.
I think there's got to be some communication, though. Don't you think?
There's some. I remember Shane Corson talking about, I got to get another deal. We didn't go into the intricacies of the deal, but he was like, I got to get a big deal here. My next deal's got to be big.
But he wasn't. But I guess what I'm saying is, he wasn't plotting that so you or somebody else would stay. Like, I don't know if McDavid and Draisaitl are thinking we got to coordinate our deals. I don't know.
No, the probably the most popular guys I played with were Bill Guerin and Doug Weight, right, in the NHL. And I know Doug was he around $5 million? And that's when all those guys were getting $9 million, right? So, and the Edmonton Oilers they knew that they couldn't afford another.
Oh yeah, that was a pre-cap, and there were some big deals going
and
there.
So Bill left. He got his $9 million, and then Doug went to St. Louis, I think was his first, and they gave him his $9 million. Right, that's where he had to go to get that big deal. So, and he never talked about it. Bill Guerin, that no one, I think. Maybe George talked about his deal a lot, but no one could understand what he said anyway.
Hey, quickly, Frederic, you said he spoke as well, and there's obviously a lot of speculation.
He just said, I think the two sides are talking, something like that. He didn't say too much. He indicated that he wasn't healthy during the playoffs, which I think, I've heard some stuff that it was quite bad, perhaps.
Yeah, even more than just a high ankle.
Just that he was further away from 100% than maybe we even thought. That's going to be an interesting one. What position does he play, or where do they want him to play? How productive will he be? That is a long deal for a guy that's going to be occupying that spot in the lineup. But yeah, he was relatively short with his answers. It's weird, guys. Like, you guys have covered these. Everybody listening hears these. You're just hoping for some little nugget.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You just want Bush to come out and say, if they pay me at least this much, I'm staying.
Yeah.
You know, but
And you just never.
and they're so trained. And let's face it, they're so trained to let their agents handle it too, I think. Because, they get an agent when they're a teen.
Well, the agent doesn't want them to say, I love it here, I want to stay, because then he wants to stay here.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They want him, that little bit of subtle, well, is he going to? Maybe we have to give him a couple few 100,000 more, right?
Rita, I want to ask you this too. You've covered a lot of these year ends.
Yeah.
Is there one over the last 10, 15, which one?
Yeah, after Vegas. They were so depressed when they lost to Vegas.
Oh,
it was so somber.
Really?
And that's, I believe, where the cup or bust clip came from.
That's where they first started to be like, we can do this.
I believe it was a question I asked. Like,
really?
Just the word, like, how do you?
Yeah.
You went to the conference final. Now it's second round out. How do you see the state of the franchise? And McDavid was like, it's cup or bust. I think that was, not that I pulled that out of him, but I think that's where that came from. That one was pretty memorable because they were so down. And because I think, maybe it's hindsight, but still a lot of people say, was that the Stanley Cup final in 2023?
That was 3 years ago, right?
Florida was not Florida at that time.
Yeah.
And they were so banged up.
Yeah.
Like, weren't they practicing with 9 guys? Or
Yeah,
something?
that's when
destroyed.
Kachuk had
Yeah.
destroyed.
And Vegas just ate them up as that series went on. Very lopsided series.
It was, as you pointed out today.
This morning. So that one stood out because I remember Connor and Leon coming out like, hats. My memory of it is it'd be like hats pulled down, mumbly, like you could just tell they didn't want to be there. Yeah. Not that they did today, probably, but they're now a little older, and I think Connor's was 16 minutes. That's quite long.
That's quite long for him.
One of these. That's more of a coach length one. So that one stands out. Trying to remember other ones. I can't. No. I'm sorry, Dustin.
Oh, no, that's good, man. Okay, well, thanks for popping on. You're going to have a bunch more in the Reed Wilkins show today from 3 to 6. You'll have some of the best clips that you'll need to hear from the availability today. That'll be popping up in the Reed Wilkins show from 3 to 6. And it's a busy day here on Edmonton Sports Talk, straight from the Oilers to the Elks. It'll be EST afternoons from 1 until 3, the Reed Wilkins show from 3 until 6, and the Green and Gold kickoff show with a Wannick and Glue Guy from 6 until 7. Gager, I don't know if we really talked about it much, and we'll come back around. We'll get to number crunchers in a second, and we'll talk about Bush and Skinner a little bit. But just the whole agent thing. And obviously, no disrespect to you. I mean, it's different with Connor and Leon, but
agent screwed me.
Yeah. Well, so did you have one agent your whole? Did you go through agent? Like, what was your relationship with those guys? And were you a guy who would just be like, just get me my options, and I'll just sit back and wait till you?
There weren't many options for me. I was more happy with the deal itself. I did have Lee Steinberg as my agent for a time. I was their only hockey player at Newport Sports Management.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And Scott Parker was his name. He's the guy that kind of handled me from the.
Okay.
And so he was always upset because when he talked to Glenn Sather, Glenn mispronounced my name every time he said it. What
did he say?
Joaquin, Joaquin. Like every single time it was different. So, and there wasn't much. Like Slat said, well, basically, if he doesn't want to play in the NHL, then I'm not signing this deal. Yeah. That's what we're giving him. So there wasn't a lot of negotiation power that I had. The second time around, Newport had sold it, and the name escapes me. It was an old GM of the Canucks right before he became GM of the Canucks. Someone in the nasty chat will say it. Anyways, he was more of a hockey guy. And he would actually phone me after some games I played and told me, you got to make that save or whatever.
Oh, your agent?
Yeah.
Was? Oh, really?
Yeah. And so
I'm trying to make money over here.
And then it was kind of sad because then I got sent down to the minors, and then I said, hey, is there anything going on? And he said, no.
Was it Gillis?
Gillis.
There you go.
And he goes, I've got some numbers for some European agents that I think you should talk to.
Okay, so then they transferred you to a couple of European agents.
Yeah, so then I knew the writing was on the wall that I was done. But so, I mean, some agents are really involved. Like a lot of guys had, like Don Meehan was a big guy back then. He had a ton of dudes. But yeah, I was more phone them once in a while. If they phone me, I'd maybe phone them back.
Yeah.
It wasn't, it did. Some guys seem to call their agents all the time, but those guys, especially in the minors, were the disgruntled guys.
Guys in the minors calling their agents all the time.
Oh gosh,
Get
man.
me to the show.
Yeah, well, yeah, because a guy would get called up and then
they'd be like, why is that not me?
Yeah, why? And then they'd phone the agent. And so it was, I mean, the American Hockey League, there should be a movie, like a reality show down there, because it's just cutthroat, awful guys stabbing each other in the back.
Just trying to get the call.
Yeah. So, but yeah, my experience was just, where do I sign? Okay,
that was it.
Done.
Just give it to me. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So more on the availabilities coming up. Reed Wilkins was there, and he will have that on the Reed Wilkins show. I know Hernan's going to be bringing some heat on EST after afternoons as well. All right, let's get to Number Crunchers, brought to you by Play Alberta. If you want to bet on the Elks tonight, no better place to do it than Play Alberta. What you play with at Play Alberta stays in Alberta, and we've got 4 different Edmonton Elks plays over there. And the Lock Shop Partner Parlay that we sent in a few moments ago, that should probably be up already as well. It is Riders to win, Stamps to win, Bombers to win as the West continues to dominate. That would be 3-1 plus 300. So we've got 5 different plays over there. If the DGen Den puts something together as well today, that'll go up as the grandest of parlays. And it's a busy day on the EST specials page over at Play Alberta. Bouchard at 10.5, Gager. Can you have, here's where you want to net crunch numbers. Can you have 2 defensemen making $20 million?
If they're both nominated for the Norris that year, yes, sure.
Yeah.
But if not, and I know the two the other one's Darnell Nurse, right? These guys, I think it's too much. Something has to give there. You can't pay 20 unless you have Makar and I don't know.
I was joking today. Unless your blue line is Hedman and Roman Yossi, I don't know if spending like to me, they would be spending $20 million on 2 defensemen, neither of which are a guy we would describe as a franchise defenseman.
No, yeah,
right? Is that I'm not trying to be a dick to Bouchard here, but I think that's fair.
Like Bouchard, it's funny because he gives us glimpses. No, and we all know his offensive prowess. Like there's things that Evan Bouchard can do at the NHL level that, let's face it, a lot of other NHL defensemen cannot do. But we're always in that balancing act of does his offensive gifts outweigh the liabilities that we see on a regular basis? And hey, Evan Bouchard, he was we called him the butcher for crying out loud for a few weeks.
He was the butcher there for a bit. Yeah. But he went after Rupe Hintz's foot. Yeah. Now I look back on it, I was like, that's so cute. That's so cute that he did that.
Yeah. Like, I mean, he was playoff Bouchard. There was a different level, but then the game 6 that was a terrible pass by Ekholm, but you saw the back checking, the giving the puck away at the blue line. On the next goal, instead of managing it, getting it deep, are those types of things, you can't have those things happen at the most crucial times of the year. And it can be the difference of winning a Stanley Cup and losing a Stanley Cup. So I look, I said it yesterday on our show, Darnell Nurse, and Nanso said it. He was all ready to sign a 4-year deal, but then someone signed that. He said someone. I don't know if it was the guy in.
So it was Jones.
Was it? Yeah, Seth Jones signed.
It was Jones,
and then it just
I heard that when I was driving
everything up,
guys,
and it was like, well, the price just went up, and it made sense at the time. It did. Like Darnell had a great bubble season and lit it up. And we thought the ceiling, but it was just one of those years where a guy just has a great year. And I think that's not his level of play. It's somewhere a little bit below.
Yeah, I think you have to pay Bouchard. But I also don't think you can get out of Nurse.
No,
so somebody just I think it was in the chat. Let me see here. Al over on YouTube. And if you've not yet subbed to our YouTube channel, we're almost 13,000. So hammer the thumbs up for us. And if you're listening on TuneIn or iHeart or at EdmontonSportsTalk.com, tell your friends about it, and you can text us as well. But Al says, guys, does Ekholm's age come into play? Like, would you trade him now while you could still get a good return because you do have Nurse, Kulak, and Wallman on your left side? I like Ekholm.
Yeah.
But I think that's an interesting conversation.
Do you think the warranty is worn out?
I think his best days are behind him. Yes. Which I don't think is a crazy thing to say at his age.
No. I guess if the first thing that comes to mind is what's the return? How do you replace that? Even at a diminished, fully healthy age 36, Matthias Ekholm?
35, I'll double check.
35, 36, Matthias Ekholm. What's coming back?
Is he still your best? Is he 30? He's 35. Yeah, he just turned 35.
Yeah.
Is he still your best left shot D in his 36, 37 type of age? Or do you go, move him, free up that money, spend it on the right side? I'm just trying to think of how you can make your blue line a little bit more affordable if you are going to try to eat 20 mil for Nurse and Bouchard.
That's tough to say because you've wrapped up 20 mil in Nurse and Bouchard that the casualty has to be Matthias Ekholm. But I'm at a loss. That's probably why I'm not in management, and is the hoops that this team is going to have to jump through over the next few months to not only get them in a cap. What's the word I'm looking for? A cap manageable kind of situation, but give them opportunities to make their team better throughout the season. Because let's face it, what the Florida Panthers, how it lined up, it was perfect. Tkachuk gets injured, Ekholm's taking roids, and they're able to get Marchand comes in injured. They get Seth Jones. Like the stars align for them.
And not an investigation anywhere.
Yeah. I thought was it you talking about or someone else, like performance enhancing drugs? Isn't that like a suspension?
It was Button yesterday morning, I think.
What? Yeah.
Pretty sure it was Button. And he's like, in baseball, you can't play in the playoffs. Like, even if you return for your suspension, you can't play in the playoffs.
Okay, stop with the investigation right now. Just change the bloody rule. All right? Be cap compliant. Your cap can be whatever it is, but for game time, your team has to be cap compliant. That fixes everything.
I don't know why they just don't do the easy. That is such an easy fix. Like, if you want to have a bunch of guys come playoff time, like a payroll of 100 mil, that's great.
That's fine.
But starting next year, your payroll's got to be 91 or whatever the number is, right? Like, come game time.
Game time.
As somebody said, I saw it on Twitter yesterday, like, in Game 6, the Panthers had a payroll of almost 94 mil, and the Oilers were at 76. Oh, because Hyman wasn't playing, but they would have been up just over 80.
Yeah.
And Florida had an extra $10 million in players.
Yeah.
Like, it's an easy fix that they refuse to do. I don't understand why they refuse to. Gazdic did say this morning, he says it's going to change.
Yeah.
He said there's an appetite from the players to have enough of this LTIR stuff too. So I don't know. We'll see what happens there. And quickly, I know you'll get into more on EST afternoons, but you have been a big Skinner guy. You said right off the top, it might be time. The unrestricted free agent list is not a good one.
It's terrible.
I think you have to probably try to track down a goalie somewhere else. If they could somehow make it work on a cap, do you have time for Swayman out of Boston?
I don't.
He's like $8 million.
It's $8 million, man. And
behind those good Boston teams, he put up good numbers. This year, Boston sucked. His numbers weren't good. I don't know how much it correlates, but
I do have time for Swayman a little bit. The other one that
I don't know how it's financially like we've been talking about how it sounds unrealistic, but
no,
who else?
It's
a lot of people are saying put in an offer sheet on Joel Hofer in St. Louis.
What about? I'm just thinking because when goalies change according to the teams that they have around them, right?
Yeah,
and you look at teams with a ton of cap space. Columbus Blue Jackets and Elvis Merzlikins, 31 years old, 5.4. I mean, pretty good down the stretch, right? I don't know.
I just don't think that can be your guy, though. You know, like
but it's a change, right? And
and maybe at this point you just start with a change and see what happens.
Because I don't care how, like, Stuart Skinner's a strong mental individual, and you could see cracks, and there's certain things that he's brutally honest about, which I love, but does he want to go through another season of having a great 10 games and having one, and then everyone calling for his head? It's ridiculous, but you need a save. And those, I hate to say it, the pucks, the 3 goals that went in on Stuart Skinner in Game 6, the first 3 are all stoppable pucks.
The third one was awful, but you think the other 2 were stoppable as well? Like, just because there was like there was traffic on the second one. Yeah,
but you got to fight. That's one person. So you can look around that. You can push
the first one. I mean, that's Sam Bennett who scored, or Sam Reiner.
Right
he scored,
though.
Yeah, he didn't go up under the bar.
No,
I will give you that. When he first got in, I thought, oh, that's a nice shot. And then I saw it. I was like, oh, it was just over his glove.
It was actually just like shoulder. But I'm like, Bobrovsky stops that, right?
Yeah, but Bobrovsky's a Hall of Famer.
Yeah, but
right?
they're
not going out and getting a Hall of Famer here.
You can be a Hall of Famer for 5 minutes, all right?
Yeah,
that's all we're asking for.
That would be nice too. Yeah, that would be nice too. All right, what's coming up on EST Afternoons?
We're just diving into tonight's game, Dusty. Elks, Alouettes.
Yes,
we're gonna.
Somebody was asking, where do you get your weens? Which?
I'll be in 5, 7, or 8. I think
concession 5, 7, or 8. Okay,
yeah.
So what I would do is just go to all of them and yell, Gager!
Yeah, and I'll come running out.
How many hot dogs are you wrapping tonight?
Probably. Well, it depends on the crowd. So let's see. Let's see how many people are there.
What would be the minimum?
Oh,
I'm just looking for a ballpark. Like, is it 400?
Oh, easily, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, because we got 3 separate ones. There's Values, there's Colossals, and now the new sausage.
Yeah.
Sausage dog. Wait till you wrap your lips around this one, Dustin.
Really?
Yeah.
You were saying yesterday that sausage dog is a real hit.
It's really good.
It's a real hit.
It's really good.
All right, so you guys will be setting that up?
Yeah. Matthew Wanek, Green Gold Kickoff Show. We'll have him in. A Red Light District at 140. Inside the Numbers at 2. Sean Campbell from
Voice of the Alouettes.
Voice of the Alouettes at 2:20. And then get ready for the big show. Reed
Wilkins. Glue Guy, the Reed Wilkins Show from 3 until 6. All right, that's going to do it for 2 Guys and a Goalie today. Thanks to YouTube Trev and Reed Wilkins for hopping on. It's nice having people in studio here. It's kind of nice for us to talk to them. Oh, good clapping, Coob. That was very nice. All right, that's going to do it for 2 Guys and a Goalie. As always, brought to you by the Sandman and his crew over at GS Construction. They're not only hiring now, they're hiring all the time. Become a part of the great team today by visiting gsconstruction.ca or their page on indeed.ca. For the past 50 years, the foundation of GS has been built on efficiency, quality, safety. Take your career to the next level. Join the team at GS Construction. I want the Oilers free agency to be like that. Efficiency, quality, and safety.
It's going to have to be.
Okay? You're going to have to do that. All right, that's it for 2 Guys and a Goalie. I will chat with you tomorrow morning, recapping the Elks and Alouettes on the Nielson Show. That should be fun. Have a great afternoon. Take it easy.